Okay, so before we start this video, I want to make a note that the guy told me wrong when he sold me the bike. He told me it was an 07 and then it was a Royal Star Touring Deluxe. It's actually an 05 Royal Star Venture, and I should have known this. All you have to do is look at the boxes and it says Venture on it. So the video was completely done and everything, so it's gonna say 2007 and it's gonna say Touring Deluxe, but it's actually a 2005 Yamaha Royal Star Venture is what it is. And yes, initially I was gonna sell it, but I've decided to keep it. It is a little bit big for me and a little bit hard to handle, but I'm gonna put a lowering kit on it and some taller handlebars so I can have a little bit more control, and I think I should be I'll be all right at that point. I did put it on the market for a little while just to kind of test it out, but yeah, I think I'm gonna have to suck it up and put my big girl pants on and drive through this. So without further ado, let's start the video. Okay, so let me introduce you to my new baby. This is a 2007 Yamaha Royal Star. It's a Touring Deluxe Edition. It is very intimidating. So I love this baby, but I'm very intimidated by it. So it's gonna take me a bit for on the road with her. But nothing comes without a cost. So I'm gonna show y'all what I went through with this baby and the fun that she caused me. But she is fully running now, and in fact, let me start her up so you can hear how beautifully she sounds. So if you watch all the way to the end, I will let you all know what I have named her. Okay, so we got the tank off of new baby, and we're just trying to get to the carbs here. Knock on wood, this hopefully will be the only thing that I have to do to new baby, other than eventually a paint job. Okay, so we're going to take these little breathers off, and then we should be able to see right down into the top of the carbs and go from there. So it's just this bracket need to take off, and then I'll need to loosen the boot underneath. There's 3 little things to loosen so that this will just pop right off. Okay, so we got the airflow box off. It's basically connects to, that's where the filter would go, and it brings the air up into here into the box and then down into the carbs. Looks pretty good. Now from where I was before, this is the one that I believe the float is stuck in, because when I was here looking up into there, when it was running, it was coming from the overflow on that one. So I think that's the one that's really a priority, but we're gonna go ahead and, because in order to fix that one, I have to take them all out anyway. So yeah, fun. So there's like 5 million things connected to this. I've got my coolant hose there. That concerns me. The color of that. We gotta get this off. And then we got the throttle cables over here. These are still, I gotta figure that out. Okay, so we got them out. 5,000 wires, cables, hoses later. And there they are. So I'm gonna spend tonight rebuilding these, and hopefully they'll be ready to get put back in tomorrow, and hopefully I can remember how everything hooks up. Otherwise, yikes. Okay, so I'm gonna be rebuilding some carbs here. I got my carb kits. I have a deviled egg container for putting the little pieces in as I take it off. That way I can easily put it back together. And so yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So far, we're 2 for 2 on stuck floats. Like, it's supposed to bounce back up and it's not. So, 2 for 2 on the floats. That explains everything from it not wanting to idle to flooding the carburetors and coming out the overspill. So, I don't know if you can see, but I'm trying to pull this pin out here so that I can take the float off and do the same thing I did on the other one, so that it'll, of course, bounce again. I guess moving the pin helped, or it might just be because it's tipped underneath. But this is in the way. All of that, so look at that. It's like every single one of them have flow issues. This feels, wow. 3 for 3. Let's see what for. Okay, I don't know what point that stopped at, but so we're 4 out of 4 bad floats. These 2 I'm gonna have to take off the side to be able to pull the pin out, but I'm going ahead and doing this one, trying to get this out. Okay, so I forgot to put that screw in, so I pulled the float back out, put the screw back in. Now I'm putting the float back in. Uh-oh. Okay, so I had lost the little metal thing there, so I had to find it and put it back on. But yeah, so we got our screw in place. Now I'm going to put this back on. So here they are, all put back together. We got all 4 floats working now. So now we just need to put it back in the bike. Alright, so taking them out again. So we're still leaking from here, here, and it looks like possibly down here and here and here. Now we tightened up the screws, but at this point I think I need to open them back up and check the seals, make sure, because it's just pouring out. Like, this makes no sense. Like, I feel like it's just not sealed properly, because you don't even have to start the bike. Like, it just, as soon as you turn the key, it's losing fuel, so it's just dumping it now. Yeah, so we're gonna open them back up and do our best. I can't win. Okay, so this is the 3rd time that I've taken out and put back in, done something different, cleaned something, changed something. I do have a complete rebuild kit ordered and on the way, but it just seems like that's not what, I don't know, like, it was leaking. Like, I don't feel like I had the bolts tight enough or something like that. So this is where a whole lot of faith comes in, and I do believe in fairies. I do. So let's finish getting this put back together, get our airbox on, get our tank on, turn the key, and let's see what happens. If it's still leaking, then I'm done until I get my rebuild kit and I can do the full shebang. But here's to wishing and hoping. Okay, so she wants to run. She's not leaking. Yay for that. But I had to break the seal on this box when I took it off the first time, and I feel like it's not getting a good enough vacuum, so we're gonna put some sealer in here. I forget what it's called, but silicone. Put some silicone in here or something, and then squish them back together and let it dry, and then we'll try again, because I feel like it's just not getting enough vacuum. Because when I read about why won't your bike start after you've cleaned or rebuilt your carbs, so one of the issues is, make sure everything's connected. I know everything's connected. I've double checked it. I've got all my vacuum lines where they're supposed to be, fuel line, all that. So she wants to start, but she can't quite without being choked out a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and reseal this back how it was, and hope that gives us the vacuum that we need for the compression and proper mixture. And once we have it running, then we can sink her, but it's got to be running to sink the carbs. Okay, so the full rebuild kit is here. Since I already did these, I probably won't be replacing, because the ones that are in there are new, and I don't think they're the problem. But we are going to replace everything else, from the needles to the jets Let's see, does this say what size it is? No, these do not. I think these are whatever stock is, because these are OEM. And then all the screws and everything, because, well, it wouldn't hurt. But we're having issues, so. And then we're gonna spray out the carbs too and everything again. I think the main seals are fine because I just replaced them. They're obviously not worn, but we'll see where all these go and all the O-rings and stuff. I know some of them are for the fuel screw. I'll go ahead and replace that, even though I already did. Because, I don't know, maybe there's something with the other one that's not right. Who knows? But, so that's what we're going to do. I'm not going to bore y'all with another fast-forwarded version of the carbs, but I will put the carb rebuild as a separate video. Just for anybody who's looking on how to do this on a Yamaha, because I found, you know, obviously how to rebuild carbs, but on this specific year, make, and model, I didn't find any. So I figure I'll go ahead and do a carb rebuild video separate, and I'll put that in the description if you want to see that. Because I know in the first go around where I just did the float side, I didn't explain anything really. I just did it and fast forwarded it. So we're gonna do it, but it will not be in this video. It'll be a separate video. The next clip will be on whether or not it worked. Okay, so here's where we're at. We went from having worn out floats, basically these parts right here, and where to go, the little needles that sit down inside them, to, well, I didn't get my seals seated properly, so it was leaking even worse. We got that fixed, and now we're not leaking. And originally it would only start with the choke and using throttle. As soon as you let go, it would not idle. Plus it was leaking. So we got rid of the leak, and now it'll idle with the choke, but you cannot use the throttle or it kills it, which sounds like a clog. That's the best I can think of, you know, because I've adjusted the fuel screws to spec of, you know, what would be stock, and it should run, you know, if that was the issue. Even if it wasn't running at its peak performance, it should have still ran. So that was not the issue. The issue is with the jets. There's got to be a clog somewhere. Even though I sprayed them out and they seemed like they weren't clogged, something, it's the way it's acting, is that it's clogged. So that's why we're going to go ahead and replace all these little jets. We're going to replace all the screws, just because it's always good to have fresh screws so you're not like stripping stuff. And we'll go from there. And hopefully we'll have an idle without a choke and a bike that can throttle and be driven. And if not, then I'm going to hold up my white flag, and this new baby is going to go to a shop, because this is my last ditch resort. This whole pack rebuild kit for all 4 carbs was about 120 bucks on Amazon. Made sure it's the correct OEM parts, and you can see right there. And so we're gonna try this. Okay, so I have this strange sound that it does when I try to start it, so I just wanted to get your opinion. Okay, so welcome back. So yeah, that was a fun time rebuilding all those carbs 5 million times. So the moment you've been waiting for, dun, 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 the christening and her name. Her name is Eden, which is kind of like Eden. But Eden, spelled I-D-U-N, is the goddess of youth in Norse mythology. So that is her name, Eden. So like, share, comment, subscribe. This baby's gonna go through some changes as well. The final thing will be the paint job, but there are some other things that I need to alter on it in the meantime, like the handlebars and things like that. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Shuttersplaining.